Oh boy, Quinny boy, what a weekend of football. Oh mate, I don't think I've been this up and about. I actually can't remember the last time I was this up and about.
Well, I've known you
footy.
for 4 years, and I don't think I've seen you this up and about anything, not just footy related. I think anything. I don't think I've seen you this excited about.
No.
So, look, it's a bit annoying, but I'm also happy for you because I know it's been a long time coming.
Yeah, it's been a crazy weekend, crazy few days. And yeah, I mean, it's a great time to be a fan of the Carlton Footy Club. As you saw firsthand on Friday night, you were there.
I was there. I was
trolling, I thought, maybe with your pink swan-like jumper that you were wearing.
I just thought, look, I'm ethnic enough. All right, I'm already going to be presumed to be a Carlton supporter. I've got to do anything I can to try and differentiate myself a little bit. And it worked. Got on TV.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, I've watched the replay and I saw us there a few times.
Did you?
So,
yeah.
I looked for your jumper. That was how I got us.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So, but it was a good game, wasn't it?
It was a good game. It was
unbelievable.
at one point it looked like it was going to be pretty one-sided, and then the Swans made a late charge, which I know kept you on the edge of your seat a little bit, but I was pretty excited about that because at least it made an interesting game.
Yeah.
And then Carlton just were too good in the end and held strong.
Yeah, I mean that second quarter, 9-goal second quarter was unbelievable. That's some of the best football I've seen.
That was Melbourne-esque.
Yeah,
with their third quarters.
That was some of the best football I've seen any team play this season. It was crazy. And I mean, we've played that sort of footy for most of the year in patches. And I mean, I think that's what the good teams do. They just put teams away with a massive surge in a quarter, quarter and a half, and that kills the game. And you can sort of not cruise, but you've banked all those points there, and you've set up the game. So.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends who you're playing as well. I mean, you've seen firsthand that cruising can sometimes lead to a bit of a comeback from the other side. So I think you got to pick and choose your targets a little bit with that. But yeah, absolutely. Melbourne have been the prime example of doing that. They cruise for the first couple of quarters. Usually it's their third where they come out, absolutely demolish the team, kick 7 or 8 goals in a quarter, put them to bed early, and then they just cruise again for the last. So Carlton did that on the weekend in the second quarter. Yeah,
that was crazy. It was an unbelievable experience, that Friday night footy. And the scenes after the game were pretty crazy as well. But as this man on our screen, to our left here,
King Charles, as they're calling him.
Is he the best forward in the competition at the moment?
Probably the most in form. I would have said it was Lynch before that.
I'd say him and Lynch.
And Lynch, but Lynch kicked 0-4 on the weekend and did a hammy. So yeah, maybe Charlie now. Yeah, just for kicking. Was it 6 again on the weekend?
Kicks was 5 to half time.
Yeah,
6 for the game.
More. So scary how much he could have kicked.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it's just and the way he kicks them as well, like he flies for everything. His hands are unbelievable, and he's so athletic. And it's crazy to think that we've got Harry as well, who isn't playing, who was the best forward last year. So it's a crazy time to be a Carlton fan, and we've got a lot of injuries as well, a lot of players out. So there's only upside from here on in. But sitting equal second on the ladder, can you believe? No. Just even saying those words is baffling for me.
I think the rest of the AFL is just waiting for the fall. For the inevitable fall we've all predicted to happen. But the way you guys are playing, I don't think it will.
Nah. I mean, even us as fans, like, we still don't have that trust. Like, I'm always like, oh shit, like this is too good to be true. Like, I'm like waiting for us to just slip up. But so far they've proven us wrong, and it's great to see. Equal second on the ladder. It's crazy. So
it's a good spot to be for all Carlton fans at the moment, that's for sure.
It is. And just before we move on from the Blues, I'm wearing a Carlton t-shirt. I promised a shout out tonight to Mal Marsh, Kristen's dad. Caught up with him last night, and he said he was disappointed I haven't worn the t-shirt that he got me a few weeks ago on the podcast yet. So here it is, and here's your shout out. So he'll be watching on YouTube.
It was nice of you to ask if you could borrow my scissors to cut the tags off just to put it on for this episode. First time you've worn it.
Shut up.
Throwing you under the bus, mate.
No, it's good. That's good. But that's probably enough. We've got the flaggers out of the way early.
Here we go. Yeah, enough Carlton talk. But speaking of the of flaggers and flag potentials, the D's.
Nam.
Well, it's still the D's.
Nam
is Melbourne though, so it's still the Nam Demons.
They played North Melbourne. Were they North Nam?
Well, I mean,
what's Melbourne?
Yeah, isn't that North didn't change their name, so no.
Technically they'd be North Nam.
I think so.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah. So Nam D's versus North Nam.
Yeah. Lots of Nams.
Mate, and this was at one point of the game I thought, geez, North are very competitive.
They did all right.
Yeah. But they've tended to do that against the good sides this year, I've noticed, North. They've kind of stuck with them for a bit and then just obviously got blown out of the water.
Yeah. Well, that was probably their best performance of the season. North.
Probably.
I'd say.
Yeah, I thought it was. They looked, dangerous. Not dangerous. Dangerous is the wrong word, but they look competitive.
They were in that game up until 3/4 time.
Which, you never expected Melbourne to lose that game. No. But if for North fans, that's good signs.
Yeah. Yeah, there wasn't many of them there. Like that crowd was pretty. I mean, as you'd expect,
they're playing less than 10,000.
They're playing Melbourne.
Was it that?
I think it was that low, but it was low.
It was very low.
Shall we find it?
We'll try to find it in the background as we talk.
I'll talk about the D's, but yeah, the D's. They're 10-0, and I feel like they've just sort of cruised to 10-0, which is crazy in a way. But yeah, they're like I can't see them losing a game, given the form of. I mean, they're probably going to lose to someone we don't expect. Like everyone probably expects them, maybe Brisbane or Freo or Carlton to be their biggest challengers, but I feel like they're probably going to lose to someone mid-table.
Yeah, it'll be like last year when they lost those unexpected games. Yeah, and that's how I think they're going to lose. It's going to be hard to predict a loss, but it'll come in one of those types of games. Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
but no, they're. I wouldn't say they're impressive, but they're just ticking along nicely, and they're I think easily the best team in the competition. That's for sure.
But that's almost what is the most impressive part about it. Is
they're just cruising.
They're just cruising. They don't have to. Why pull all the stops out, go nuts, and then by the bye you're all cooked? Yeah, they don't need to. And they're 10-0 at the moment, which I don't know when was the last time we saw a team go 10-0?
Were they 10-0 last year?
I can't remember.
D's?
No, I don't think they got 10-0.
They wouldn't.
Because they lost a few games to like bottom of the table clubs last year. Remember, they lost a few.
I'm going to find this.
Yeah, you can do that in the background.
Did you find the other?
Nah, I couldn't find the attendance. I know it's somewhere, but
right.
Well, I'll get distracted searching the internet looking for that. I may as well just keep talking along. But yeah, it was obviously a pretty low attended game, which I'm surprised from Melbourne supporters. I mean, they've had relatively low crowds all year. I mean, round one famously for the grand final rematch was pretty low attended, and then I haven't seen any real sellout games or close to selling out games with the D's playing. You think you're top of the ladder. I mean, I know you won the flag last year, but Melbourne supporters, you've had it pretty rough for a long time. You think you'd show up while you're good.
Yeah, they're another team though. I don't think success is going to double their membership base or triple their membership base like a Richmond or a Carlton.
You got to have the support.
Yeah, I don't think they're just going to pluck some. I think. The bigger teams like Carlton, Richmond, Collingwood, Essendon have a lot of supporters, but not all of them are members. Yeah. Where I think Melbourne have just got as much as they can, to be honest.
They're almost maxed it out.
They're not a massive club. You'd say they're probably not a small club. They're probably middle of the range, I'd say.
Yeah, middle tier in terms of size-wise. I can grow that.
Because round one against the Doggies, what was it?
Like 50?
50-something thousand for their first game after winning the flag and the opening game of the season. That was...
raising the flag as well at the G, you think everyone would be there.
Yeah, that was poor.
So anyway, that's just I think where they're at in terms of fan base wise. But
anyway, they were 9-0 last year, and they lost in round 10 to Adelaide by a point.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yep.
So I was right.
So they almost got there.
Nearly.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the D's, and I think it's going to be interesting given Brisbane and Freo also losing on the weekend. It's made it hard to really see who the real second seed is to them at the moment, because then now you got I don't know, Freo losing to Collingwood, which we'll touch on, is a bit concerning for Freo given what they've been doing this season.
Yeah, it could be like Melbourne last year losing to Adelaide, and some of the other games they lost, just an outlier.
Yeah,
bit of an off one. I mean, you don't know. We'll have to see some more consistency. I mean, but Freo also lost last week to the Gold Coast.
They did. They got smashed. Yeah. They got smashed to Collingwood. 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, so disappointing from Freo. They'll be wanting to figure out what's going wrong there and try and turn that around. But a couple of poor losses. Who knows if it's going to be something that's going to stick or if it's just a bit of an outlier for now and they'll move on going forward. But even Brisbane lost on the weekend. Yeah. So, interesting. Like you said, it's hard to tell who is second and third best at the moment.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the Dreamtime game.
Absolutely.
You were there?
I was there.
Yeah. How was it? How was the experience?
Great experience. I always love Dreamtime. The performance I put on before the game is I can't think of anything in world sport that's similar in terms of like the history and the heritage behind it.
Yeah, is
quite special.
Yeah,
and I don't know if any other country sort of recognizes the natives of the land quite the way we're doing at the moment. With 2 weeks, Sir Doug Nicholls Round. It is not. This not one. Not the one round anymore. It's 2 weeks now. It's over 2 weeks.
Next week as well.
Yeah, it's over 2 weeks. So the Dreamtime game is obviously the main spectacle.
So everyone wears the Guernseys again next week? Is that what's happening?
I believe so, right. Yeah. So, which would be good for Marlon Pickett, who designed Richmond's jersey and didn't get to wear it on the weekend. But no, the pre-game stuff was incredible. Halftime show was great. It was a good... The game was... so. It's
a bit average.
It was a bit of an average game. Nothing too exciting, to be honest with you, but good experience all around. And I was lucky enough to be sitting in a box seat for this game, which was something different. Let me tell you, it's quite nice when you're 3/4 of the way through your beer and you get a waitress tap you on the shoulder and say, "Oh, would you like another beer?" And I'm like, "Oh, absolutely, I would." Free food. So it was something different for me. I enjoyed the experience, but yeah, great experience. Not a great game, if that makes sense. But I am happy because we won by 32 points, and I think this is now it's nearly 2,300 days since we've lost to Essendon, which is a nice little record we're building there.
Another long record that Essendon have.
I think it's like 9 or 10 games in a row now we've beaten them, so I'll take that.
Yeah, absolutely, you would. Yeah. They're still... they showed a bit more physicality, which was expected, the Bombers.
Yeah, there's been some people that are saying it was sort of fake physicality there. Did you watch the game closely? Did you see some of the things that they were...
Yeah, and I thought they did what they had to do. Especially up to the week that they had.
I think they played better than last week. I thought some of the physical stuff they were doing was, I don't know, maybe them responding to the media, even though they said that they weren't going to do that. But I thought the way they actually played was a better response.
It was a little bit, but they were still very, very sloppy and messy, and it still wasn't a great performance.
They had patches, though. I thought they actually played quite well.
I think I saw something that was their lowest score that they've done in years as well. Like 48, excluding the 2020 shortened quarter season. Apparently that was their lowest score in a long time. So,
well, I'll take that. Good defence from Richmond.
Yeah. I mean, that sort of just sums up Essendon's season as well. So
it does a little bit. Yeah. Did you see Toby Nankervis, what he got up to on the weekend?
Yeah, you're telling me about that.
That was quite funny. I can't remember the Essendon player's name. I'm going to bite myself for not remembering that now. But he's kicked
Brian? Nick Bryan or something?
I think it might have been. He kicked his first goal in AFL footy. Yeah. As the team's gotten around him, Nank's gone and tried to join in the celebrations, and they've all started a big scuffle. And I thought it was, look, if it was anyone else on another team, I'd be like, oh, what a dog. But obviously, because it's Richmond, I thought it was quite funny. But I don't know how I feel about that. Let the guy enjoy his moment. It's his first goal in footy. He doesn't want the opposition player robbing it in. So
absolutely.
Move on, Nank.
Something we didn't get to touch on last week that happened between last podcast and this podcast was the shock retirement of Tipper. Mcdonald, Tip and Woody.
Yeah, that's the issue with recording on a Monday. We do miss a bit of the midweek news, but Tipper
that was
did retire.
huge news.
It was pretty emotional as well.
It was.
I thought the speech that he gave to the boys, and then when the team ran out before Dreamtime and Dyson Heppel was getting around and the boys were all high-fiving him, something quite special. Tipper was one of those once-in-a-generation type players, real excitement machine, so quick, so quick. You couldn't stop him once he was on, I don't think, and I didn't realise he played as many games as he did. He played, I think, 130 odd. So,
well, he started in 2016 when they had that top up. He was a top up player for him.
Yeah, but see, I feel like it was a lot later than that he started. But that's how impressive he's been. He's played that many games.
Yep.
He's been such a good player for him. I'd be disappointed to see him go, but it was the right time for him, I believe. And there's no point continuing if your heart's not in it.
Yeah,
I don't think so. Yeah.
Absolutely.
All the best to Tipper and what's to come.
Yeah, no, I think he was definitely my favourite Essendon player. Everyone knows how we feel about Essendon, but I genuinely loved watching Tipper play. And he always dominated against Carlton, which was tough to watch. But some of the stuff that he did was freakish on the footy field. So massive loss for them because I feel like when Tipper played well, Essendon usually win.
Because he was one of those players where he's a bit of a barometer.
Yeah. Definitely.
And he lifted the team, not like Reece Matheson. He was an actual barometer for Essendon. So when he played well, you're right, the Bombers usually did play well also. Yeah, so
he'll be sorely missed. And fitting that he retired in Dreamtime round as well.
So absolutely.
Nice little send-off for him. All right, let's move on to your one of your favourite players in the competition. That's the next Buddy Franklin, Max King.
Max King.
He was looking good on Saturday night. He was clunking him. He actually played one of the best games of key forwards played this year. He was super.
I think it was one of the best key forward games. It was 6 goals he kicked in the end, wasn't it?
7 touches, 6 goals.
Yeah.
So highly efficient.
Highly efficient. I don't know if you want your forwards having more touches than that, but if he's kicking 6 goals, you're not going to argue with what else he does in the game because he's kicked 6. So that's sort of all you can
marking
ask for.
Was huge as well.
He's nuts. He's such a good mark. If he was a little bit more accurate, he would honestly be that much better. But he's a star. I know I've talked a bit of shit when they compared him to Buddy Franklin, but he is a star, and the Saints will be loving what they're doing at the moment. They're just ticking by quite nicely, aren't they?
They are. Yeah, they are. They're hanging around, and I think they kicked 8 goals in the last quarter against Adelaide. So because Adelaide were right in their hammer and looking like they could potentially win that game as well. And then the Saints showed their class in the last quarter, and they were very impressive. So I think they're going to be another team that's going to be challenging, top 4, if not definitely top 6. I think they'll
be pushing.
They'll be around there, around the mark. So they're doing good things. They had a couple of interesting losses, but apart from that, they've been pretty good. So and it's good to see the Saints. I think they've got a good, exciting team and an entertaining team as well. So
I'm believing in them more now than I have in the last 2 years. I know they played finals in 2020.
They were good that season.
But I didn't have as much belief in them as I do right now.
Yeah.
I think they're a bit more of a complete side now. Max King is in such good form. And the players around him, and they're being harsh on some of the players that aren't performing as well, like Dan Butler on the weekend running around in the 2s.
Yep.
They're making those tough decisions to get rid of these players that would normally get a game every week. So I think they're doing the right thing, Saints.
Yeah, for sure. All right, what about your umpiring, mate? I think you had some interesting things to say, especially about those the Sunday games, the Hawthorn game and the Collingwood game.
Yeah, well, the Hawthorn one I watched pretty closely. The Collingwood one I missed, to be honest with you. But the Hawthorn-Brisbane one was one of the worst umpired games we've seen recently. And I'm not the only one saying this. I mean, I know I touch on it all the time, but it's in the news. It's the media, like the AFL media, the fans. No one's happy with what we're seeing at the moment. There's decisions that we didn't even know existed that are being paid. There's interpretations which are just mind-blowing. I don't know how anyone thinks that, that certain call, whatever, was a free kick, and it's tough to watch. And then the AFL's wondering why crowd numbers are down. It's not COVID anymore. I think we've all moved past COVID being an excuse. It's not even hard to get into the games anymore. That you don't have to do a QR code to check in. I don't remember the last time I checked into a game. You know what I mean? That's because they're not forcing it. All you do is you walk in as per usual. I don't see it. I can't see how the AFL doesn't realise that one of the reasons the crowd attendance is down or are down is because the game's turning shit to watch. It's just whistle after whistle after whistle. It slows the game down. Not to mention the goal review decisions that they do every time. The goal umpires need to open their eyes or go to Specsavers, as the ads always say. It's it's difficult to watch.
Yeah. I
don't know if you agree with some of those decisions, but
yeah, I mean, we spoke about it a lot last week, but the dissent rule again was terrible over the weekend. There was some. I just don't understand how, the rules are tough for the umpires to adjudicate, but if some of these umpires are thinking that's actually dissent, then I think that's another problem. Like the umpiring itself, not like usually you can let the umpires off because the rules are hard to understand. There's a lot of grey area, but some of these umpires were just, I think, if they think that's dissent or worth a 50-metre penalty, then I think that's a whole new problem.
Yeah, absolutely. But then the thing is as well, you don't know, is Brad Scott saying to him, I don't care what they do, just pay anything.
I know, but geez.
You know what I mean? Like, is it up to interpretation of what the umpire feels is dissent? Like, do they have to feel like they're being rude or, abusing me? That's 50. Or has Brad Scott drilled into him now, I don't care? Because he seems pretty stubborn about the topic. Has he just said, I don't care what they do, what they say, their arm even slightly raises or their head shakes, just pay it. I don't know what the decision is from coming up top, or like you said, it is the umpires that are just individually finding things as dissent, because I don't know, I don't like to use the term harden up, but if they think some of these things are dissent, they're going to have a bit of a look at themselves.
It is.
And
it's ridiculous.
I mean, did you see the Lachie Neale one?
No, I haven't.
There was just a classic push and shove where you just push and shove, palm to the chest type thing. Lachie Neale, I think it might have been to Jai Newcomb potentially, but Lachie Neale was giving him a shove. Newcomb's shoved him back. The umpires paid a free kick against Lachie Neale for shoving him.
Jeez.
And it's like, that's not a free kick. When has that ever been a free kick? And the Fox footy, everyone's been saying it as well. It's not just me, so I'm not enoughy about this. It's ridiculous. And people are going to stop watching. I'll always watch because I'm an idiot, but there's going to be people that stop watching because it's hard.
Yeah.
Or they'll watch their team and that's it. They're not going to watch any other games because it's frustrating to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. And the goals from free kicks as well are off the charts at the moment.
With all the 50s they're paying now, it's such a damaging penalty.
Yeah,
for someone raising their arms in the middle of the ground, all of a sudden the other team's having a set shot at goal. And it's ruined. I think it's ruined the game.
It is. It's seriously getting concerning now. Like usually I'm okay and I can put up with some bad umpiring, but I think now it's just getting to a really concerning level.
Oh, you're going to get bad umpiring no matter what, and I'll accept that. That's fine. It is what it is. That's part of the game. The rules are hard. I know that. I'm not trashing the umpires in that sense. But at the moment, like you said, yeah, it's worse than I think it's ever been. Even being at the Carlton game with you on Friday night, from a mutual standpoint, I thought this is terrible. Like going both ways, there were some shocking decisions, and I thought if I was one of these supporters, I'd be losing my mind.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so, that was ridiculous as well, that game. But yeah, hopefully they sort it out soon, because you start losing the fans, and there's a serious problem.
Well, without the fans, what is there?
Yeah, exactly.
So just local footy.
Yeah, exactly right, mate. Well, let's give the Hawks though some credit from that game.
Oh, absolutely.
They were impressive down in Tassie.
They love it down there.
A premiership fancy in Brisbane. Huge result that was.
They really needed that. And Brisbane surged really late as well. Did. The last 3 minutes, they kicked a couple of goals, and they got that last one just on the siren, I believe, to get within 5 points. So they were coming strong, and Hawthorn just held off, did what they needed to do, but really impressive all-round performance. And I think Sam Mitchell, whatever he's doing with this list, it's not going to happen this year, probably not next year, but you'd say within 2 or 3 years, these guys are going to seriously contend.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
if they can keep this list.
I feel like they're a classic young rebuilding team at the moment, where they come out of nowhere and win these outrageous games, but then they go on like these losing streaks as well, and they lose some poor games like the Essendon game, for example. Yeah. And then you guys smashed them. Was it last week as well? Well, not smashed them.
We beat them pretty comfortably.
A couple of weeks. It was a comfortable win. Yeah. So and then they come out and beat Brisbane. Yeah. That's just a classic young team, inconsistent, but show a lot of potential.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you who I'm loving from them. I'm loving Mitch Lewis. He's going to be an amazing key forward. I mean, he kicked 4 on the weekend. He's a great contested mark, big boy, not afraid of a contest. He's going to be great in a couple of years. Yeah. Well, he's already pretty good now. So.
Yeah. Well, even John Newcomb as well. He's a star.
Newcomb's probably the best player under 20 in the competition, I reckon, almost.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I can't think.
Is he 20? Under 20? Is he 20? Yeah, he is. Yeah.
I'm sure this is his first season, or was it his second season? Second season.
But I think, I'm going to find that out. That's a good question.
We'll have a look. But I still reckon he's the best player in the comp under 20 at the moment, or best performing player. So
he's 20.
He's 20, or 20 or under then.
Yeah, he's turning 21 in August.
Okay, well, the best player 20 or under at the moment.
Yeah, he's a star, and they got him in the mid-season drafts last year. Was it? Last year.
So.
Yeah. It came from Box Hill.
A good pickup. I really like the mid-season draft as well, and you can see how some teams may be strategically working things. Like I know Carlton put Oscar Mcdonald on the non-active list, and Richmond had Josh Caddy retiring. Whether that was a thought process that went through, like maybe saying, "Hey, Josh, if you're going to retire, do it now so we can get a pick," or I don't know how that works, but a lot of clubs are starting to try and use that to their advantage, and I think good on them.
Definitely.
Go for it.
Well, that's coming up soon, so it'd be interesting to see who gets picked up. There's been some gems over the last couple of years, whatever. When did it get introduced?
2019. Yeah. Marlon Pickett was the big one.
There you go. Yeah. And John Newcomb, who we just spoke about as well. So, been some big ones. Last game of the round, Collingwood and Freo.
Talk about unexpected.
We touched on it a little bit before, but that is a huge win from the Pies.
Mate, to go to WA and beat Fremantle, who have been one of the informed teams, and Collingwood, who, let's be honest, have been out of form the last few games, haven't been that great. This is massive. Massive win. In the wet as well, sloppy conditions, tough footy to play, and they just did what they had to do, get the win, and they seem to enjoy it as well. I mean, Jack Ginnivan, just see him celebrate before he even kicked the goal. Like, they just didn't seem like anything could go wrong for him towards the end of that game, and they were loving life up there. Yeah,
good on him. That was a huge win, and I think Collingwood, very similar to Hawthorn, where they're a young team. They're going to pull these wins out of their ass every now and then, and it's great to see. I think they're going to be very good in a couple of years' time, I think. So
absolutely, it's it's keeping the list.
Exactly,
if they can keep the list together. Yeah, absolutely. The sky is the limit. Is that the saying? Yeah,
sky's the limit. That is the one, Quinn.
That's the one. I've never quite reached it, so I always tend to forget.
All right, let's move on to round 11, and it starts Friday night, Sydney and Richmond. You were going to fly over for this one, apparently.
I was going to fly over. I was going to go join my cousin Matthew up there. He's got a place in Sydney. He's living up there for work at the moment. Cousin Liam's going up there also, so I was going to join a bit of the family, watch the game, but prior commitments are keeping me in Melbourne. And with Tom Lynch and Kane Lambert missing this game as well, it could potentially be a good thing that I stay in Melbourne and not go up and see that. But I still give us a good chance. We're playing some good footy. Swans are all over the place at the moment. It just depends what Sydney team rolls up. I mean, they lost to the Gold Coast up in Sydney, and they've had a couple other stinkers up there as well. So who knows? It's going to be a very interesting game. But you'd say Sydney would want to bounce back and sort of put themselves in a good position to go forward again. And have a good win. But Richmond are looking for 5 in a row also. So it's a tough one. I think with this one, I'm going for the upset with the Tigers and sticking with my boys to go for 5 in a row. But, I think the Swans will respond also. Yeah,
it's going to be a good game. Really, really looking forward to this one. But, I think Sydney just being at the SCG and coming off a loss as well, I think they'll definitely want to bounce back. Especially being at home as well. So, Sydney for me. Saturday Arvo, we've got Brisbane and GWS at the Gabba.
Another good game. Giants played some good footy last week.
They just needed to do what they had to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Crows, not a great opposition. Eagles, not a great opposition. But I had the Adelaide logo in front of me. Not a great opposition, obviously, but they still played good footy. I mean, you can only beat who's in front of you, and they played well. So they'll be feeling pretty good about themselves at the moment, but not good enough to beat Brisbane at the Gabba.
Not at the Gabba.
Not after a loss like Brisbane just had. So
no, Brisbane as well. Geelong Adelaide at GMHBA. Geelong hit some form over the weekend as well.
Yeah, absolutely. They did. Jeremy Cameron played some. Mate, he had 24 touches and fair few goals. I think Torp on the 3/4 time siren. So feeling pretty good about himself at the moment, Jazza. But Cats for me, especially down in Geelong.
Yep, Cats for me. Melbourne Freo at the MCG. I feel
this is a big game.
2 weeks ago, this would have been massive, but given Freo's form, not sure anymore.
Well, it's wavered a bit. I mean, the odds are $1.22 to the NAM to Freo's $4.35, which a couple of weeks ago I reckon it would have been a lot closer than that. So it's going to be interesting. I think Freo will play a very good game, but I think Melbourne will do what they've done, and hopefully this tests Melbourne a little bit, and we see a more 4/4 performance from them. Yeah, because I just want to see. It's exciting to watch them play like that. So I wouldn't mind seeing a 4/4 performance in the Ds, but we'll wait and see. Yeah. But obviously Melbourne I'm tipping.
Yeah. Melbourne as well, or NAM, shall we say. Yeah. So they're NAM again this week.
They're NAM again this week. Yeah,
cool.
Correct.
Saturday night we've got West Coast and the Doggies at Optus. I think Doggies, nice. We don't really need to talk about that one, do we?
No, we'll pass that one over.
Gold Coast Hawthorn in Darwin.
Jeez, this is...
It's going to be a good game.
This is going to be a very good game.
Tough to pick.
I'm going to go the Suns because I think they're probably used to the warmer weather a bit more than Hawthorn. I mean, I feel like that has to play a factor, playing in hotter climates and whatnot. And I think Gold Coast have been in some good form as well. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously Hawthorn had a good win on the weekend, but like you said, they're up and down at the moment. I feel like Gold Coast have been a little bit more consistent than Hawthorn. So, for me, I'm going to go the Suns.
Yeah. I think Suns as well. Yeah, being up in that humid, dewy climate, pardon the pun, it's going to be it's going to suit them well.
Wouldn't have even thought about that if you hadn't mentioned it.
Dewy.
And you know what? I say that though, but I think Gold Coast and Hawthorn have had the same amount of wins for the season. So I say they've been more consistent, the Suns, but I think I'm pretty sure they're...
As of late, they've been a bit better.
Of late, they've been better, but I'm pretty sure that there's just percentage separating the two at the moment. So it'll be a good game. But Suns still for me.
Sunday, we've got St Kilda and North. You made a case for North? No.
Sorry, North fans. Saints, they're too good at the moment.
Yep, Saints as well. Sunday Arvo, we've got the old enemies, Collingwood and Carlton at the MCG. This is going to be, after Collingwood's big win, this is going to be massive.
It's going to be a very big game. Collingwood fans up and about, Carlton fans, we all know how up and about they are at the moment, whether we like it or not. So it's going to be an interesting game. I still think Carlton's a stronger side and I'm going to get the job done. But I just hope it's one of those games that both sides really live for the occasion and put on a show because I want those old school rivalries back. Richmond Essendon last week, big rivalry, didn't really feel it. There was 70,000+ in the crowd, but I didn't really feel it. So I'm hoping for this game here we get that sense of rivalry back and have a really good game. But Blues for mine.
This is going to be absolutely massive. And I love these games. These are always the games I look forward to the most. And I think I think there's going to be 80,000+ there on Sunday. And I think we'll be too strong given our form. But it wouldn't surprise me if the Pies do put up a good show because, as we know, Collingwood, Carlton, Essendon, Richmond, whoever we play, can go either way.
They're big games. They're always big games. BNR, I think Carlton are in too good a form at the moment.
Blues for me. And then the final game is Port Adelaide and Essendon at the Adelaide Oval. Interesting. I think Port...
Yes and no.
Port because it's there.
Port because it's there and they've been in the last few weeks. They've been in better form.
Yep.
Essendon haven't shown enough recently for me to give them a sort of a chance, especially flying over Adelaide. So, Port Adelaide for me. But, Essendon would want to... I know we say this every week at this point, but they want to respond.
Absolutely. They do. I mean, they're 2-8. Yeah. They're going to need to... they're just playing for pride now. Like they're obviously not going to play finals. And a win against Port in Port will do wonders for that group.
The confidence it would build is huge.
Yeah. So, but no, I think Port too strong, and they're definitely still alive for finals. So they've got a lot to play for. So yeah, Port for me. But that is round 11. Come
on quick.
It's great. Footy, as we said, it's in an interesting place at the moment overall, with the whole umpiring debacle and the rules and all that sort of stuff. But we still love it. We still rock up every week.
Oh, we always will.
Yeah. So nothing will change there. All right, let's move on, mates. Let's do your Crimea River, JT style.
Something a little bit different from me today. I'm not going to be talking about umpires, MRO, goal reviews like I normally would, but it's going to be, like I said, something a little bit different. I don't know if you saw the Luke Beveridge comments on the weekend during his press conference where he spoke about the treatment of Aaron Norton, but he also didn't really speak about the treatment of Aaron Norton. He just kept referencing the fact that he has to be careful. And pretty much what he said was, he was playing pretty well in the first half, and then for whatever reason, he wasn't in the second, and I know there's reasons for that. But then he wouldn't go into detail. Now, the issue I have with this is not that Beveridge is saying something or that he's being cryptic. It's the fact that he feels he has to be cryptic. I don't like the fact that players and coaches don't feel like they can say the things they need to say because they're going to be fined or whatever by the AFL. Now, Damien Hardwick's another one that said some things that have pissed the AFL off. Beveridge is one that obviously knows, that he's towed the line a fair few times also. I don't like it. If a coach wants to come out and say, I think we got shafted this week by the umpires, or I thought this was the case, should be able to say it. I mean, your coaches can get shit on, players can get shit on. How come the two arguably most important aspects of the game can have as much criticism about them as you like, but then you can't say something about the umpires, you can't say something about the rule changes, you can't say something about the AFL as an organisation. You can't complain about that, but then the players and the coaches can get shit on as much as they want. So for me, that is my Crimea River. I don't like that they feel like they have to be silenced. I think you should be able to say whatever you like. I mean, obviously to an extent, there's some things you can't say, racist, sexist, all that sort of stuff. Yep. Don't say that because why would you be saying that in a press conference anyway? But I think if you want to have a sook and say, I thought Aaron Norton was held on to and didn't get a fair go from the umpires, or even just say, I thought the umpires missed a few calls, that's fine. The umpires are allowed to be criticised. They're out there. It's their job. They get paid to do it. You're allowed to be criticised. So that's what I'm thinking. I know we're trying to stop umpires from getting shit on, and we're trying to, encourage more umpires to play the game and, officiate the game and all that. But I think you should still be able to criticise poor decisions because who holds them accountable otherwise? Yeah. If the players can't anymore, the fans have always kept them accountable, but we don't get listened to anyway. Brad Scott seemingly doesn't think there's anything wrong. So someone has to do it. So I think, coaches should be able to say whatever they like.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't get that whole, because you look at sports overseas and especially America, they say whatever they want, really. Well, not whatever they want, but I feel like they've got more reign to say how they really feel about certain situations. So I know it's it's a different culture here and it's overseas, but I mean, that's the whole theatre of it, and I think that's why a lot of people love it so much, because they love the theatre, the drama of, the emotion after the game and from the coaches and the players and how they're really feeling. That's what we love.
Oh, 100%, because it's raw, it's passionate, it's real. You know what I mean? It's not fabricated. It's not a really well media trained conversation where you can tell they're not giving anything. They're talking without really saying anything. So. Yeah, I think let them open up a fair bit more than they are, and they shouldn't have to feel like they can't say anything. And Bevo shouldn't have to say, I've got to be careful. Like, no, say what's on your mind, mate. Like, if everyone disagrees, they disagree. It didn't stop him with the Tom Morris stuff earlier in the year.
It's true.
You know what I mean?
That is true.
So, I mean,
maybe he's too scared now.
But that's also because he wasn't talking about the AFL. He was talking about a journo.
Yeah.
So there was no repercussions for that. He knows if he says something about the AFL, they'll come down hard.
Yeah.
But that shouldn't be the case. The AFL, the umpires, all should be left open to do as much criticism as the players and coaches are. That's my opinion. So if you're in the industry, that's it.
Yeah, I like it. No, it's a good one. I definitely agree with that a lot. So I think Bevo, how much was he trying to really, really, really bite his tongue?
Oh, he was reining himself in, especially because then the journos started trying to bait him and go, what do you mean? What do you mean? And he to be fair to him, he kept his mouth closed. He didn't bite, but I think he should have been allowed to. So, yeah. we'll move on from that, but that's my Crimea River.
Nah, love it. Geez, big call.
You were a fair bit off last week.
I don't know if I can do this anymore.
For those that don't remember, I predicted that Tom Lynch would kick 8 against the Bombers, and he kicked 0-4 and did a hamstring in the third quarter. So probably the exact opposite of what you thought he would do.
I think I put a curse on things maybe. Do you reckon? I'll mark a bad luck charm? I
think you might be at this point. Yeah. Can you say something really good about Buddy or something this week?
That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to be like, I reckon Collingwood are going to beat the Blues by about 10 goals.
Smart.
I think Collingwood are going to beat Carlton by 60 points.
But that wouldn't really be a big call.
All right, 15 goals.
The look on your face, Sam, was like, I can't tell if he's being serious.
I'm struggling for one this round. I really am. Like I was tossing up whether, because like the North performance against Narm last week was good. I'm like, are they sniffed to beat the Saints? Like, can they beat the Saints at Marvel?
Remember, I put North in my tips a couple of weeks ago, and they let me down.
Yeah, I did North. Remember, that was the first big call. And that was bad.
Against the Dogs, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, this one, completely off the cuff. Look.
I'm going to have to start putting a timer on these things.
North will beat the Saints.
Oh, jeez. You've gone with the easy one. You've gone with the easy one. Are we going for a margin or they'll just get it done?
Goal up, siren.
Oh, jeez. I mean, it is a big call.
Isn't that what the whole point of it is?
It is the whole point of it. It is the whole point of it. Maybe we should start putting more thought into it before we start.
But that's the beauty of it.
I like it, though.
It's off the cuff.
No, I did. I like it. I like it. North to win with a goal after the siren against the Saints on the weekend. If that happens, oh boy.
Yeah.
I reckon we retire the segment.
If that happens.
We don't do it ever again because you're not getting one better.
Okay, all right, done. All right. Well, I mean, I wouldn't mind not doing it ever again.
I think if we get
embarrassing myself,
I think if we get one in general, let alone just this one. I think if we ever get one big call, we just stop.
Yeah,
I think we haven't had one yet.
All right. Yeah,
but we'll see. We'll see. One week at a time, and hopefully this week it gets up for you.
And if the AFL ever listens to your Crimea River, we stop that as well.
Oh, 100%. If I get a message from Gil or anyone up high, we're done.
All right. Beautiful. All right. Well, let's wrap up there.
Speaking of being done,
we are absolutely done. Episode 97. We're almost at a ton, which is fantastic. We've got some exciting things planned for the ton, so stay tuned for that in a few weeks. But yeah, another round of footy done, and we're in double digits now, so round 11 next week with the buys following that, so almost at the halfway point. But enjoy your week and enjoy the weekend of footy, and we'll chat next week.